I'm in Providence, Rhode Island. Okay, Airbnb tour. Starting at the entrance, we have this painting of strangers getting married. Fire extinguisher that looks like whipped cream next to the broken coffee maker. Can we get a refill, please? Emergency exit. Indoor slippers because this is now an Asian household. Bedroom. To be very honest, I have no idea what I'm doing here. My relationship to this place is that I used to go to RISD, and I graduated 2 years ago and haven't been back since. Now I am completely jobless and have all the free time in the world, so I'm back? Like, I don't really care where I'm at right now. I just wanted to run away from New Jersey. I just needed to switch to a different place. It's not because I dislike New Jersey, but this is a condensed version of my college diet, basically. Probably didn't contribute much to my life, longevity-wise. I came prepared. This is all the tea bags that I bought. And I also have this. You're like, Gabby, are you taking supplements? No. This is my travel-sized instant coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to dinner at Gabby's. As the main chef, let me walk you through all the items on the menu. First off, we have corn chip dippers. This is a kitchen staple for her. She had so many of these when she was in college. She was basically made of 50% corn chip dippers. However, usually she would have it with guacamole because that kind of makes it healthy, right? It's avocado. But also, like, without the chips, how would you even eat guacamole? So it all makes sense. Next up, we have dates with peanut butter. This item on the menu single-handedly represents everything I believe in food consumption. So the way you eat it is by first cutting the dates down the center line, kind of like a hot dog bun, and then you spread the peanut butter in the center. Flavor-wise, the peanut butter complements perfectly with the sugar-dense sweetness of the dates. However, what really makes this food stand out to me is how efficient it is, because it takes you no time to make them. And then after like 2 of these, they give you the illusion that you've had a full meal because it's really calorie dense. Especially when you are on the verge of fainting from hunger, as one often is, this is a lifesaver. And also, both of these ingredients are very easy to preserve. So you go to the supermarket once and you are set for the upcoming 2 weeks. So for all those reasons, I rest my case, and dates with peanut butter is the best food ever. Good morning. Who donated all of these bubble gums? It lights up too? That's so perfect. Self-proclaimed bubble master. It is already 4 p.m. and this is only the second coffee of the day. Very unlike me. This place is changing me. Oh, you can see the reflection of me. OOTD. Look at the slope. Providence is so hilly. Whatever those guys are riding, that should be part of the Providence public transportation system. Oh, really?
Better than Providence, Rhode Island.
I am back in my Airbnb. It is time to wind down. Day is over. I have showered, mask is on. That means serious business for getting ready to bed. Anyway, today I visited the Providence birds. They are the main reason that I am back here. I do miss the city in general, but I miss them a lot. So I really wanted to visit my bird friends. And let me get you caught up on the Providence bird lore because it is intense. Okay, let's get right into it. So, in the Providence River, we have three main players. Them being the goose, we have the ducks, and we have the swan. Look at the swan flaunting its muscles and feathers. That is foreshadowing for what is coming up next. The goose have the highest number of population, so they do have an advantage there. I see most babies from them, and overall they seem to just be minding their own business, very team oriented. Now the ducks, since they are dramatically smaller in size compared to the two other ones, they also seem to just be hanging out within their own communities. And then we have the swan. I don't like the swans. They are gigantic bullies. They have beef with everyone on the water. I think they seem to think that everyone is intruding their space, and they think their space is the entire Providence River. So they tend to bully and chase off everyone that are just minding their own business, if I'm being honest. So let me demonstrate that for you. Now, example number one, you see these two birds in the center of Providence River. Providence River is very wide. You can swim anywhere you want. But you see the swan chasing right after this goose with this very intense look. They have this one movement where they bend their head down and then they look at you like this. It's very aggressive until the goose just can't take it anymore and then they fly off in fear, unfortunately. And now the swan is flexing. She's like, I win again. Or he. I assume it's a male because... Now, example number two. See, is that necessary? They're giving off the same look. I think the swan doesn't have that much drama with the duck because it's not a good look to bully someone that much smaller than you. It's like me bullying a 5-year-old. And the intimidation. The way they intimidate is through silence and eye contact. And they're just doing it because they're big, okay? You're just born like this. It's not a skill thing. You should not be proud of this. And here we see a platform covered in bird poop. Welcome to the hottest spot of Providence, Rhode Island. Today we have two gentlemen here feeding the birds. Usually it's very peaceful because a food source from human, it's endless. We have a bag of chips or like breadcrumbs or whatever. It's for everybody, so no need to fight. However, the swan keeps chasing off the goose, and it is this one particular goose. For some reason, they just have intense beef, or the swan just have very one-sided intense beef with this one particular goose. And we have a neighbor from the sky, the pigeons. Also, sometimes we see seagulls, but today they decided not to make an appearance. The swans also have intense beef with the seagulls. I don't understand. Maybe it's because they have the same fur color and then the swans are jealous because they think the seagulls wear it better, which is true. Anyway, everyone is noticing that the swan is bullying the goose. So they are having some pretty strategic approach to the feeding, where you see the guy in the blue hood, he's sort of like rolling the food to the goose from the side, so the swan hopefully wouldn't notice it that much. Or they feed the swan first so that the swan gets really distracted, and then they throw the food to the goose. Here's the problem. The goose doesn't always get the food, all right? She has a hard time looking for the food, which, you know, buddy, that part is on you. Bro got jump scared by the food. What is this survival instinct? Now the swan has caught up and he got chased off again. Oh, and here is when this goose suddenly just jumped onto the platform from the water, and it totally startled me. But then notice how the fur is all falling off from the neck, which is just super sad. This guy has been through a lot. Now we see Mr. Duck make an appearance. I would say generally speaking, the ducks are pretty problem-free. However, I do notice an interesting phenomenon. So in the winter time, the ducks usually hang out in couples, in pairs, like a female duck and a male duck. But after spring and summer approaches, the time where usually the birds have laid their eggs and are taking care of the eggs or the babies, the male ducks start hanging out in groups, and the female ducks are nowhere to be found. Look at them. 3 male ducks just hanging out on the water, carefree. I call them the frat boys. I can only assume that the female birds are taking care of the babies and they're just out and about being totally irresponsible. And they're not like, oh, I'm just gonna go hunt for us and then bring home the food. Nuh-uh, they are totally just hanging out. Anyway, thanks for keeping up with the Providence birds. That's it for today. I am at Newport, Rhode Island. It took me a lot of determination to finally come here because it is actually pretty far from Providence. Google Maps said I rode the bus for 126 stops. Also, the bus was so bumpy. It is the shakiest and loudest bus I have ever been on. Well, actually, all the Rhode Island buses kind of are like this. I felt like I was riding a horse in the Middle Ages. Which might be very on brand because today we are visiting some mansions from the old times. Coming to the mansions in Newport is kind of a Rhode Island staple, but I haven't done it yet, even in the 4 years that I was here, because I always felt like I could just do it anytime, and I just never did it. But today is the day.
Put it under your tongue. Just kind of leave it under your tongue for like 10 seconds.
Okay.
But I mean, this is not going to make you feel heavy and in the couch, like how I couldn't.
Yeah, Yeah, very good flavors.
Outfit check. This is the true owner of this property. Mandu bush, my favorite. Giant balls. That's it. Bye bye, Newport. Newport was actually really fun. I really enjoyed my day. The mansion that I went to was the Breakers, and oh my gosh, they have so much money. It is literally impossible to be bored in that house because I could only imagine, even when they have nothing to do, say they're just lying down staring at the ceilings, the ceiling is made of a million different paintings and each with a million different symbolisms and made of gold and silver. Before this, I had never even thought that my ceilings are perhaps too boring. But I guess today I just learned a new perspective. So I think the lesson here is I would like to be rich. I have been irresponsibly eating corn chip dippers for 3 days straight now. I feel young again. This is what it's like to be 19 as Gabby. You can probably tell by now that I am not one to plan for my trips. I would say my number one enjoyment from traveling in general is the state of mind, the mindset of now I am on vacation and it is my goal and my literal duty to relax. Whereas I think in real life, I kind of sometimes struggle with fully enjoying my time off because I still just feel a little bit guilty. It's like so inefficient because I'm not doing anything anyway, but I'm also not having a good time. I'm just getting nothing out of it. Whereas on vacation, I feel like I can actually enjoy my time off. So hence I don't really put a lot of pressure to complete certain things or to see certain sites throughout the trip. My number 2 favorite thing about traveling is just walking around. Maybe I'm just very easily entertained or something, I don't know, but walking is one of my favorite activities in life, in general, even in my own neighborhood. I can walk around the same place over and over again every single day and still be pretty entertained when you're on the streets. When you're on the streets. The things you encounter every day is very different. And if you really pay attention to it, the things you can find out are endless. And going to a different city to do that is sort of like unlocking a whole new map on a game where there are just endless things for you to explore and everything is so impressive.